Are you hoping for a trouble-free calving season for your cow-calf operation this year? Maybe you're wondering when is the best time to calve or how to band a newborn bull. If so, you're in the right place. Here at Heifer USA, our farmers breed and raise South Pole cattle. And today, we're sharing all of our secrets for a successful calving season. In this video, we'll discuss when to breed your cattle, how to check for pregnancy in cattle, how to care for pregnant cows, how to field process a newborn calf, and more. Stay tuned until the end of this video to see how you can get a free copy of our most valuable record templates for calving season. Now let's get started.
I'm Lizzie Parker. I'm the assistant rancher at Heifer USA in Perryville, Arkansas. Typically, we do spring calving, but this year we tried something a little bit different and added a fall calving rotation.
The roughly 45-day calving season can take place at any time of year, or even multiple times per year. Here are the most important factors to consider when you're deciding when to breed and calve. During the months that cows are pregnant and lactating, it's important to have high forage availability to provide essential nutrients. Choose a calving time frame that aligns with your growing season to save money on supplemental feed like hay. If you plan to sell any of your calf herd, consider when it will be most profitable. This varies from place to place, so make sure you know the trends of your market. Calving is hard work. Select a season when you're available to provide the necessary time and care to your animals. Consider the climate of your calving season and avoid calving during extreme weather like snow or heavy rain. Now, let's talk through the timeline from breeding to calving.
A cattle estrus cycle or heat cycle is generally around 18 to 24 days. We take our bull over and we leave him in the pasture with the cows for anywhere from 42 to 45 days so that he can cover the mamas.
The estrus cycle refers to the period of time between when a cow will stand to be bred. It's important to expose the cows to the bull for more than one estrus cycle so they have a higher chance of becoming pregnant.
Cattle's pregnancy cycle is very similar to humans. A cow will usually carry a calf anywhere from 38 to 44 weeks, generally about 283 days.
283 days after the start of breeding season, we can expect to start calving. Because breeding season lasts anywhere from 42 to 45 days, we can expect calving season to last about as long. That means we've got about a 44-day window in which our calves can be born. From the start of breeding to the end of calving, this process lasts roughly 367 to 373 days, just over 1 year. Let's see how this timeline applied to our South Pole bull named Rip.
We bought him from Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farms in July of 2021. At that point, he was just about 2 years old. We then put him in the pasture with them in August, and his first breeding cycle produced a really nice herd of newborn calves for us. So we're using Rip again in the fall. We put him in the pasture in January. We left him there until March of 2022.
That means our mama cows started calving on October 27th, and our last calf of the season was born on December 1st.
We are very pleased with our conception rate, and Rip is doing a good job with our mama cows. Typically about a month after we have exposed the cows to Rip, we do pregnancy checks. There's 3 different ways that we can do pregnancy checks. We can do an ultrasound, a rectal palpation, or a blood draw. Typically what we do here at the ranch is the blood draw. To do the blood draw, we bring the cows up into the squeeze chute. We get them in a head catch so that they don't move around a lot. We lift their tail, and on the underside of their tail, we look for the midline groove at about 3 to 5 inches from the base of the tail. We collect the blood from the vein there, about 2 cc's in a vial, which then we mail off to a lab in our area, and within about 1 to 2 weeks, they send us the results back. Our cow is either pregnant, open, which means she's not pregnant, or that we need to recheck her at a future date. Open cows generally we will cull. That will help us get a herd size that's more manageable for our bull to service.
Once we know which cows are pregnant, we pay special attention to our pregnant mama cows so we can keep them as healthy as possible.
During the 38 to 44 weeks of pregnancy, we take care of the cows by making sure that they have quality forage and clean water. We also have our free choice mineral feeder where they can select what minerals they need. And during pregnancy, that might change a little bit. Every day we need to check and make sure that those are topped off and they can choose what they need. If you're interested in knowing more about our mineral feeder, check out this video.
If you're finding value in this video and you want us to keep making cow-calf content here on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. As we get closer to the start of calving, it's important to check on your mama cows at least once a day because they could go into labor at any time. This is also a good opportunity to check their health and look for any indicators that mama cows may be getting close to calving.
I am out here with our mama cow herd doing my daily checks. So this is April, and so what we can notice about April is her left flank is very distended, it's round. This is where the calf sits, is over here on the left side. As we're getting closer to the calf's birthing, then there's a few indicators that I look for to know that, hey, this mama is getting pretty close to calving. The first thing is that they will isolate. They're a herd animal. They generally tend to stick together. But if a mama's feeling contractions coming on, she will separate herself from the herd in order to give birth. Some of the other things that I look for is that she has a swollen vulva. In addition to her vulva swelling, it'll also take on a pinkish color and even get jiggly, as we know that those muscles need to loosen a little bit in preparation for the calf exiting the birth canal. She also can start to fill up her udder, so we call that bagging up. The muscles around her tail head will start to loosen up in preparation for the birth. As we're getting really close, there may be some mucus discharge. I can start to notice that she holds her tail differently. She'll kind of hold it raised up in the air off to the side. I may find her lying down. Most of the herd will stand up and be grazing when I go out to do a check. We don't bring our mama cow into a barn or a stall as she's getting close to delivering. Everybody has their calves out in the pasture. Typically, they have them at night, which means when I arrive in the pasture in the morning, I have to go on a search to try and find the calf. There's a group of them up here that I think he might be a part of. Usually when they're newborn, they're not up and grazing, so they usually are down napping quite a bit. These guys might be too old. That one definitely. Here, I think this is her. She just looked back at him. You see him? Once I find the new calf, I've got my backpack with me with all my calving supplies, and I can get started right away field processing that newborn. The first thing I do is I get the ear tag in place so that that calf has an identity and a number and a link to its mama. I use my easy tagger. I put a little bit of an antiseptic lubricant on it to ensure that the ear doesn't get infected. Once I have the ear tag in place, I take a look at the umbilical cord. If it's a little long, I might trim it with scissors, but I always treat it with iodine just to give it a little bit of an antiseptic barrier. Next, I will get out the calf scale, measuring tape, and I will measure their hoof to get an approximate weight for the newborn calf. I take the front hoof and I just slide the little tape on it, and it has a side that reads for a bull calf or a heifer calf. I line it up where the hair stops and the hoof starts, and it tells me that this calf weighs 77 pounds, give or take about 7 pounds. At this point, I look their body over and check to see if there's any specific color markings that would identify this calf from any others. He has a little bit of tiny white on his belly, but nothing that would distinguish him from any of the others, so then he would just get the solid red color marking. The last thing, since he is a bull calf, is we do our banding right at birth. This is the bander that we use for our calves. So I load the elastic on the 4 prongs here at the top. Then when I squeeze, it's gonna open up that band. I'll be able to place his testicles through that. And then when I release it, the rubber band comes around, and then essentially it cuts off the blood supply to the testicles. They just fall off. So there's no incision, there's no open wound that can get infected. And at this age, there's not a lot of blood flow there, so there's not a lot of pain or damage for the calf. So I'm gonna open up the bander to make the elastic wide. I'm going to pull the testicle through. I'm going to make sure that both of the balls are in there. Then I release it. Now, one thing I want to make sure of is that I haven't caught any of his nipples in the rubber band. So it looks like maybe right here, okay? And so then I back the bander out. I double check that I can feel 2 balls in there, and that's the finished product. After the bull calf is banded, he may experience a little bit of lethargy, but within a couple minutes, he's up and moving around, and mama's usually right there to console him. So now we're all done with this guy, and he can be released back to his mama. As I'm releasing him, this is my one opportunity to love on him, but at the same time, I'm just checking his health. I may squeeze on his belly just to make sure that he's already started nursing and that he's getting the nutrition that he needs to grow into a nice big steer. There you go. She'll make it better. Thank you, Mama. Once I finish field processing a newborn calf, it's time for me to update my records. So I use a notes app on my phone. In my notes app, I take a picture of the mama and the new baby so that if I need to figure out who belongs to who, I've got a picture. I also write down the ear tag of the new calf and of the mama cow. I write down the weight of the calf, his date of birth, any specific color markings that would make it stand out from other calves in the herd. I also want to make sure that I note if there's any issues I need to watch closely. Does the calf nurse well? Is he having trouble standing on his limbs or anything like that that would need some extra care in the future? I also have a checkoff list of all the calves and their ear tag numbers and whether they're a bull or a heifer. As I go and check on them, I can check them off to make sure I've seen them each day and that they're progressing well with their mom. When I have some downtime and can do some work in the office, I take all the information from my notes app and I put it into our program designed by CattleMax. There it creates a digital profile of every new calf, the parentage, its birth weight, any kind of treatments that I might have to give it in the future, any kind of information that I want to keep on record for a cow, I have at my fingertips in the CattleMax program. The other nice feature about CattleMax is that I can have it on my phone. So if I'm out, I can have all of the data right there in the pasture. And to be extra sure that I don't lose any of this valuable data, I also carry a field notebook that I can write all of the information about the newborn calf in as well.
If you need an easy and thorough record-keeping system for your cow-calf operation, we have the perfect resource for you. The Heifer USA Cow-Calf Resource Guide is full of pre-made templates and checklists for cattle ranchers, including calving records, cow profiles, calf profiles, field processing checklists, and more. To download your free copy of this valuable guide, click the link in the description of this video.
If you're raising cattle and want to follow along with the lives of these new calves, be sure to subscribe to our channel.
Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video from Heifer USA. Keep learning about grass-fed cattle production with these videos.